Alright, Simsy, this is Courtyard here. Let me just, okay, make sure this shit, I don't even fucking know what QuickTime is. Okay, anyways. Yeah, Courtyard here. Really glad that you're sharing me your stems, that shit, you got some real good sounds. Um, but right now I got Banga open right now, and you've been talking about the Splatty synth, with the, I'm assuming is that sound, which I actually sculpted in Massive. So if we go over to, it's the main synth, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's totally. What is the riff, anyways? C, C, G, C. Wow. Yeah, that's it. Something like that. But anyways, how I do that with Massive, here we go. Let's look at the process. So I did make this a few months ago, but yeah, shit. I'm gonna have to take this apart, but bear with me. So basically, what I was doing is, this is one of the only synths I had that I had the sound in my head before I actually sculpted it. A lot of times I'm just like cranking out material, like this sounds cool, and I'm sort of banking it up to use later. But this is the first time that I actually had that synth for this particular song in my head, and I was able to recreate it. And basically what we're talking about here is we got two oscillators open. This amp is all the way down, it might as well be off. But got two oscillators on here. We got an M-Talk. Oh shit. Okay, where are you, M-Talk? Oh fucking Christ. M-Talk and a drive 3. And if we turn off one of these oscillators, we can tell that here we'll actually mute this envelope as well. So it goes. So it has a really kind of almost has two tones to it if you listen to it pretty closely. But why I used it was it's very crunchy. It's got some buzz to it, and it has a lot of dimension as it is. I can turn off my dimension and all that stuff. It's still buzzing all over the place. So we're going to turn those back on. Actually, we're going to leave these off. I'm going to get into that later. So that's the raw sound of the M-Talk. And what I did was I put that an octave lower than the drive, because the drive is really going to, fucking drive the thing. So let's mute this. This is what the drive sounds like. And that's basically, I layered these two because the M-Talk is really the overall space of this synth. It's really that splatty sound that you get, while the drive is the tone, and you can differentiate that. If it was all this M-Talk oscillator, you wouldn't really be able to differentiate any sort of melody in it. So that's what I did the drive. I put that an octave up. So now turn them both on. I just fucked with the wave position, whatever, intensity, yada yada have you. We're going to turn these filters off as well. And turn off these bit crunchers, and I think that's about it. So now we have, and it sounds like a pretty normal synth, nothing too crazy. So what I ended up doing was, add a bit cruncher on there, and what that's gonna basically do is kind of splat it more. It gets that bit crunchy, really crunches it up and makes it a little less smooth, I like to say, but I like to say the resolution of the sound, it kind of fucks that up. So you get like an 8-bit sound. And that really clean, crazy, crackling noise you hear in the back is just, real splatty. Turn on that bit cruncher. And now we're coming up here for the DAF filter. I always use the DAF filter. I don't know. It is what it is. And for this synth, I wasn't looking for an all-encompassing, lead synth, because I do have those samples and I do have a lot more going on. So with this DAF filter, I basically cut out the lower ends and I really put that onto the top, filter it out. Scream. That really bounced it back. Actually, now that I'm thinking about this, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing when I was making this. But the point being that you're really understanding what each of these does. The scream filter, it's almost like harmonics. You pick your scream and you pick your resonance, and that scream will resonate a certain frequency. So if I have my scream up, turn resonance up, that scream will resonate further. So basically what a scream does, it's almost like an overdrive. Very particular, you get to choose exactly what bit you want to overdrive. And that's good when you want to get a crunchier, sound, more aggressive sound. So let's turn the DAF filter back on. So I got the bit cruncher, the scream to really crunch it up, get a lot of that space and that sound, that distortion in there. DAF filter to cut out the edges. And for me, I was going da 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 da. And what I really like to play with is putting an envelope on these things to make the pitch go down. So you can really just kind of, I don't know. There's something about diving synths that I really like. So what I did was I took an envelope that wasn't being used. 4 is my amp envelope. So 2, turn the attack. Here, I'll do it in like a filter that's not being used. So for example, if you want to make a diving sort of sound or a rising sort of sound, you're going to have to turn your level of decay up, and you're going to turn your attack to whatever level you want. And what this does, you can use this envelope on whatever the fuck you want to use here. So, if I want to turn the knob of my DAF filter cutoff, what this envelope's going to do is slowly turn that up. And it's going to stay up until I let go of it. Then it's going to, release back down. Versus if you look at, and that's applied to any aspect on this synth. That's what's so crazy about these envelopes. Versus 4, which is always your amp filter, this is just describing the volume. You hit it, it reaches a peak, and it sort of fades out as the sustain goes on, like, a piano or a guitar or anything. And that's why you see this as like the general envelope. But you have a lot of power. You can do whatever the fuck you want. So let's just like play around with it. Slap into here, turn this down, and click and drag this. So now, as I'm hitting it, the attack is turning this knob all the way around this blue and making this quacking sound. So that's good. But that's not what we want, because I want to just pitch bend it. So let's unmute these, and you can hear it goes. Alright, cool. So we're pretty much there. We got this crunchy sound. We got everything that we want right there. But we really need to clean this up and make it fucking cleaner, Give it a bath. There's too much noise, too much mid frequencies for me to really use this. So I'm going to EQ, boost the high shelf. That's already helping a lot. Dimension expander, cannot live without this motherfucker. Just listen to the difference. It's almost like a reverb that, instead of making the sound bigger by extending the reverberation of the sound, it does something else. I can't really explain it, but it really gives it a bigger sound. And then, of course, chorus blends it up always. I always throw chorus on a synth. A lot of times I'll layer my synths, and I'll do one with chorus, one without, and then I'll adjust the levels. But for me, it's the same as detuning, because that's what chorus does. So And there you go. I mean, there you have it. And that's that synth. And in the master, this is like one of my first songs I've ever produced. I'm actually surprised it gets a lot of attention. I just upped that higher frequency. And I actually fucked up that scream filter a little bit, so now it's... There we go. And I mean, yeah, man, that's how I basically do it. Yeah, I'm kind of liking that right now. Let's fuck around with that for a little bit. All right, well, that's how you carve that sort of synth. I can go into more massive. I'll do another one for you. I'm just gonna throw a whole bunch of this shit at you because I'm pretty much bored. It's my day off. It's raining outside. I'm gonna just keep these coming. That's how I made that particular synth. But I'm just gonna create a brand new synth for you. Go through the entire process for you. All right, and that's that. How the fuck do I stop it? If you're able to pay attention for 11 minutes and 30 seconds, congrats. All right, see you, man.